Counterpunch promo live in 3, 2, 1.
Once upon a time, they awoke to the concerted effort underway to dummy them down, to the forces working at every turn to water down human wherewithal. They stood, they rallied, they drew their line in the sand, vowing once and for all to scale their spines and mortal up. That was the day the tables turned, and the universe itself sat up and took notice.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going...
3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome, and thank you for stopping by. Let me get this slider just right. What they tell me, because I've not been that good with math lately. Well, to be honest, I've never been all that good at math. But in any event, they tell me when the math is episode 436 of the number one rated show, All Natural Being. And of course, the gong. Here you go. Heard around the world. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Your snooze alarm's sworn enemy, radio that sparks your smart, broadcast that builds your strong and unleashes your legendary. Because make no mistake, I still believe that if you're here, you've got a legend to let loose. We're serving up the best thoughts, hands down, in the history of thinking. And I'm fired up to be your virtual hitchhiker, to be riding shotgun as you get into your day. So what do you say? Here's your opportunity once and for all to mortal up, to crush your cant, and just to smack your critics while you're at it. Which is very fitting for this morning. Let's get ready to go kick in some doors. Good morning. We're going to do this show a little different this morning instead of all the different segments. But you may be saying, "Oh, what's up for this morning?" Well, we have this for you. Let's see. That would have
What's queued up in the cart? You have a heart. It has a passion. Making that pulse your priority is why you're here in the first place. I promise.
Oh, all right, we can do that. You know what? That's very fitting. I didn't know what that was when I hit up queued up in the cart. But let me say this morning quickly to Kathy. Kathy, thank you so very much. Heather, thank you. Sarah, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Ian as well. Thank you very much. Ian, I've been a little under the... I guess you could say under the waterfall of lately, a little under the weather, so I haven't caught up on what's going on is it Brexit, is it not Brexit, is right. If you're Hank Johnson, you're a little worried, the representative here in the United States, if you're Hank Johnson, you're a little worried that there may be too many people on England, that one day it'll capsize if its weight increases too much. These are the brainiacs that we elect here in this country, in the United States, so I hope you're okay. I hope the island hasn't capsized. Laura, thank you so very much. Nice to see your face pop back up, even if it's just the little virtual button. Thank you for joining us, and good morning, one and all. Sarah, Kathy, Heather, Ian, Laura, thank you so very much. Good morning, right back at you. All right, so here's what I thought we would do this morning. Let's talk about your heart's highest priority, putting that pulse. You all know what it is, that one thing that you think you're like, all right, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's mix it up. Let's dig in and make it happen. So, but I thought I'd share a little bit, since we mentioned it this morning. Heather, thank you so very much. It's very fantastic to see you as well, especially coming off my 36-hour nap, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. But what I wanted to talk to you about this morning is that you ever those situations where you know what you want, you know your heart has a highest priority, you know that internal vibration, right? You know exactly what it is that you want to do, that you need to do in order to be able to smile, in order to be able to be happy. The hell with the trauma, the heck with everything that's gone on before you. This is your moment in the sun. This is your line in the sand. You absolutely refuse to lose. So let's take a walk down memory lane, at least the memory I have left. So, and I have to thank, I just have to thank everyone in my family for putting up with me for the last couple of years. And I most certainly include in that family my good friend Sue B. Brown, who, let's just call it a couple years back, right? No, we don't need the exact date, but a couple years back was tasked, picked up the ball, so to speak, and was tasked, thank you very much, Heather, and was tasked with taking me to the hospital what was going to be at the time, yeah, there's so many of them now, right? But at the time was my third brain surgery, right? The surgery to end all surgeries, the war to end all wars in my battle, with my battle. So it takes me that, and I have to tell you, in my gut, 2 or 3 times I said to Sue, why don't we just turn around? Why don't we just turn around? Why don't we just turn around? And the first answer is, well, because we're on the Eisenhower. There's like no turnaround ramps here. It'll be a while, outside of Chicago. But which I thought, wow, that's a pretty astute answer for, right out of the bat. And it was, no, see, I would have said St. Patrick's Day. I almost did say St. Patrick's Day. Valentine's Day, right? The second most important holiday to me. There's Christmas and Easter and Flag Day and all the rest of that, and Labor Day and Memorial Day. But, it's right up in the top 17 of my favorite holidays. So in any event, it's Valentine's Day. Good morning, Jennifer. Thank you so very much for joining us. We're taking a little trip down amnesia-ridden memory lane, at least life according to Brian. So we're going to this little shindig where they're getting ready to use a Dremel tool and cut into me again. And I said to Sue, I got a bad feeling about this. I got a bad feeling. She goes, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Don't worry. Let's just go and get it over with. And I think at the time we both probably felt that the bad feeling came from the fact that it wasn't that I was going to die on the table, right? If these brain doctors can't figure out how to insert a shunt, did you just hear that? Yeah, when the fluid leaks, insert a shunt. Right? Insert a shunt. Oh, I don't even know I did it now. But in any event, so if these guys can't pull this off, then you're like, hey, look, right? So I knew that part. But there was something in my gut that told me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Or if you say, well, focus on the positive, turn the car around, turn the car around, turn the car around, turn the car around. Well, it wasn't my car, it was her, right? So there wasn't much I could do. I wasn't driving. They wouldn't allow me. So, but I had just a visceral sense that it was all wrong, that it wasn't what needed to happen. Thank you, Jennifer, very much. Jennifer says, thankful Thursday to see you. Thank you very much, Jennifer. I super appreciate that. So I knew at that point there was no way I wanted to do this. Even when I got in, and the nurses were all very nice. Happy Valentine's Day. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. They were all very nice. And I was like, yeah, I'm not certain I'm doing this. And they go, well, you're here. And I hadn't even met the doctor, right? They hadn't even come in. There was just so many red flags now that I think about it. I just should have said, no, that's it. Pop smoke. I'm out of here. I'm done. No more. That's it. See you later. Sayonara. I'm not doing it. So, right, cooler minds, I guess, prevailed, and I went ahead and, let them cut into me. Ended up, I don't know, I slept for a month afterwards and this and that, so I had this nice little spaghetti strap of a shunt, right, which I leave hanging. It looks like a mouse, doesn't it? Small mouse, commuter mouse, or a small little field mouse with a long tail, if you can see that. I'll hold it there. So I let them put this thing in me. And from the get-go, it still wasn't working, right? You ever get in a situation where you just know, you go, I shouldn't do something, and then you do it, and the moment you do, you go, right? Like there's a little voice in the back of your head that's a bullhorn going, all right, needle nits, I told you not to do it. What are you doing? Come on, let's go. What are you up to? I told you this wasn't going to work. The moment I came to, who knows how long after that was, right? And I slept for a month. But I just had a sense that it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going. You ever have that happen? Give me a call if you're up and about. Don't forget, you can call us 833-646-3877. Sean, nice to see you. Good morning, bright and early, wherever you are, sir. 833 mind-ups, just like push-ups, pull-ups, or sit-ups, or 833-646. Can I have one more verbal miscue today? 833-646-3877. Don't forget, some kind of fees apply. Who the heck knows? Also, here's a QR code if you want to zap it in your phone, and then you can take a show with you right on out the door, right? There you go. Brett, good morning. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. We're just catching up a little trip down amnesia-ridden, as I said earlier, amnesia-ridden memory lane, a life according to Brian. But give us a call if you've ever had a situation where you just knew, your gut told you, don't do that. Don't, right? Or do something. It may not always happen in a negative. It may be, look, you need to pull the trigger on this. You need to send a shot down range. For those people that don't like course, let me just say, tough. I'm a gunny. What do you want? So, in any event, right? You just send the shot down range. You know what you got to do to make it work. And then the moment you turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, the moment you turn your back on that still small voice, that voice goes, "Yeah, you're on your own, brother. I tried to warn you. Red flags, everything else, right? I tried to warn you that, not the way you may want to proceed. Caution. This is a speed bump for a reason. But no, I'm smarter, right? Can't tell Brian a darn thing. I'm smarter. So I didn't listen. Ever have a situation like that? You know the feeling that I'm talking about? You know the voice I'm talking about where the small of your back, your spine just goes... Which reminds me of another story. Let me say hello to Amy quickly. Brett, thank you so very much, brother. It's nice to know that you're out there. It's nice to see you as well, even if it's just your Facebook picture. Thank you so very much. Amy, good morning. Nice to see you. We're talking about what happens when you turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. You basically just turn your back on your still small voice, and then afterwards you're like, oh, man, can you believe this really stinks? Well, yeah, I believe it really stinks. You didn't listen to your still small voice. Ever have a situation like that? Give me a call. Let me know. Oh, you can send a text as well. Let me get over here into the message board, state of the art as it is. Between you, me, and the fence post, it's just Grasshopper, right? Which you'd think I'd be smart enough to get Grasshopper as a sponsor for our little get-together, which I should write that down. There's no way in heck I'll remember it between now and the end of the show, right? There you go. That's what amnesia does to you. So in any event, yesterday, I had to go and have a spinal... was it yesterday? No, I slept all day yesterday. All right, so apologize for missing yesterday's get-together, by the way. The doctors told me I had to be flat for 24 hours. Sarah, if you're still here, you know all about this kind of thing, right, from being in a medical profession. Perfectly flat, 24 hours. So when you get through this procedure, they give you a spinal tap and they insert fluid and they put you in this huge machine. They strap your shoulders in, your feet in, just like being back in a hospital again when they didn't realize I was allergic to morphine and they kept pumping me full of morphine and then wondered, why does he keep attacking everyone in the staff? Why does no one want to ride in the elevator with this guy? He's just had brain surgery. How tough can he really be? Well, inject me with morphine. It's odd because I had like a total Greek flashback of Procrustes. Remember the guy that would wait for people to stumble on by? He'd be sitting on his front porch waiting for him to walk down the way. And then he had a particular bed and he'd cut off their legs or he'd put them on the stretcher, right? Oh, which now that you think about it, it's not a bad call. Put him on the stretcher to make him taller or to fit his bed. But I guess maybe the bed was mercurial. I guess it changed as well. Or he'd cut your legs off if you were too tall. He'd cut your legs off to make you fit the bed. Well, in the first surgery, they kept pumping me full of morphine. No one knew I was allergic to it. I didn't know I was allergic to it. So I had a Procrustean dream of when they were loading me into the elevator, as one would, I thought they were going to take me to cut my legs off. I literally thought they were taking me to the basement to kill me. Silly boys, silly girls. So I fought back, right? I fought back to such a degree that from that point on, my bed was alarmed. I was strapped down, all this other fun stuff. But in any event, right, as soon as you do something where your gut tells you shouldn't, sorry for that little flashback, right, of being strapped down to, be that were it true, strapped down to a gurney. But I figured out the alarm before too long, and I was up prowling the halls. They yelled at me one time because I got totally dressed, went down, put on a baseball cap, went downstairs to get a cheeseburger and a large fry. Came back upstairs, I'm sitting in the room, I'm eating. The nurse goes, how'd you get that cheeseburger and large fry? I said, oh, they're having a special down in the cafe, the little thing where you buy food in a hospital. She goes, how do you know that? And I go, well, I just ran down and got something to eat. You guys seem busy. I keep hitting this damn little buzzer. No one comes. So I was hungry. I wanted a cheeseburger. So in any event, those situations where you turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, you turn your back on your still small voice. Well, that's what we're talking about this morning. If you want to give us a holler, give us a call, 833-646-3877. It's toll free. Won't cost you anything but your time. 833-MIND-UPS. Don't forget, there's also, if you text in, which you're welcome to, there's also a, what is it called? There may be a fee apply. I don't know. There's some kind of fee if you want to. Good morning. And yes, so Amy says, good morning. Good morning, Amy. Right back at you. She's had those situations. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about this morning. So I want to go ahead and get to the big news. Well. Look at you. I guess you were wrong. Oh, believe me, it's killing me to get to that. But let's do this first. So I'm at the Columbus Cranium Spa and Needle Emporium yesterday to get this. You'll love this. To get this spinal tap, amongst all the other things they wanted me to do yesterday, but to get this spinal tap done. And I don't want to mention the person by name because she was very cute. It was very nice the way it went down. But, they get in and they put this, so they wheel the doctor, or they wheel me in, the doc's there, and I go, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Good looking guy, nice guy, young, but, I go, because I've just learned to ask, have you done a few of these? Have you? Right, it's like my spine. Have you done a few of these? He goes, oh, yeah. And I said, okay, great, groovy, thank you. And I said, but I have to ask because, for everyone out there, all the women out there that have had kids and that have opted for an epidural right before they give birth, I said, how is this? Because I'd like to be able to empathize. I want to be able to build rapport. I want to understand, right? I'm never going to have a kid, I'm told. I know, it's heartbreaking news. I'm never going to have a child, so I'd like to know, right? It's just a weird fluke of nature. Unless, of course, you're fluid gender or this or that. Who knows? I don't want to get into that whole debate this morning, right? I have very little brain power left. But in any event, so I'm never going to have kids. So I thought, it would be nice to learn about an epidural. It would be nice to know what it feels like. So I'm all strapped in and like this, and they got these big things to hold me in because they're about ready. This is like a roller coaster ride that I've never been on before, right? It's unbelievable what this machine will do. But so I'm all tweaked in, and I look over to the guy, and I said, oh, well, how's this rate in compared to an epidural? And he goes, interesting. You say that epi, right, meaning above, epigenetics, genetics that come from above us, that kind of thing. He says epidural, it's above the spinal area, the spinal cord, the spinal column, whatever they want to call it. And I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah. And this isn't that. And then he sticks me. Now, when he puts this needle, he wouldn't let me see the needle. I'm like, look, I'm paying for this operation, so to speak. My insurance is helping a very little bit. It's Blue Cross Blue Screw me, so where am I going? But so I just wanted to see the needle. No, we're not allowed to show you the needle. And I go, who makes up these laws, these rules? We're not allowed showing the patient the needle you're about to stick into his spine is prohibited. I don't know. Maybe Sarah can tell us. I don't know what the rule is about that. I figured I'd be an easier patient if I passed out. If I had a thing about needles, why would I have come to the Colombian, there's a flashback, the Columbus Cranial Spa and Needle Emporium if I didn't like needles? So the moment he jabs me with this needle, I feel like lightning going down both of my legs. It's like I expected to see my toes blown off. I put up a picture when I finally got out of bed yesterday of me walking around in the grass in the backyard. It's like, I'm lucky to have toes left. When he jabbed that needle into me, it was like, right? Just like, do I have lightning? That would have been great, wouldn't it have? Yeah, sorry. I guess I don't have a lightning sound effect. I got to get that on here. But in any event, lightning down my feet. And I go, whoa. He goes, are you okay? And I go, yep, all good. You just do your whatever you got to do. And so they turned me upside down this way, flipped me over, right? It would have been a great martial arts test if there had been like a speed bag that I could keep hitting as they were tilting me all around. So Jennifer says, my first epidural was in 1990, didn't work. It only worked on half of my body. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Ended up having a C-section. I'm really sorry to hear that, Jennifer. So in any event, I wanted to learn what that was like, though. So now I think I can say a little bit, not the birth thing, but what it's like to get an epidural. So I won't even mention the nurse's name. And the doctor kind of says, all right, well, tell me what you're feeling. And I said this, and she says, oh, well, yes, we were. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to tell you that this is one of the things. And with all the comedy I could muster, I said, do you two know each other? Have you worked together? Is this your first one? Am I like a crash test dummy? Am I your first ever patient? Now you tell me my feet are going to feel like they're on fire once I get booked. You tell me after the fact, oh, yeah. After it happens, then you say, oh, yeah, I was supposed to tell you before it happened. Oh, okay. Well, I leaned over and I said, look, is there anything else you may want to clue me in on? And I'm thinking, don't be too much of a smart aleck. This guy's still got a fishing lure buried in the small of your back. So I said, okay, no worries. Nice lead vest. I like that. It's a good look on you. So they contort me. Because what they did is after they put this needle in me and they put the fluid in, some kind of dye. Are you allergic to iodine? I don't know. Just don't put morphine in me, and everyone should get out of here unscathed, I think, right? You put morphine in, I'm not making any promises. Well, I'm making a promise, but it won't be one that you like. So they put this dye in me. They turn me left. They turn me right. I'm going this way. I'm going that way. I'm all this other stuff. And how are you? And when I'm standing on my head, all the pressure's running to my head. And then they go, oh, well, how does this little thing work here? And I hear her saying to the doctor, oh, well, it's just, just use this and there's that. And I'm thinking again, like that commercial where the guy goes in and asks, and he says, oh, I'm one of the tattoo artists here in town. And the guy goes, you mean one of the best? And the guy goes, stick in your lane, bro. Right? So I'm thinking, I better stick in my lane because this guy's got right? He's got a fishing lure buried into my back. So I'll stick in my lane. I won't say anything more. All right. Come on, Brian, keep up. Would you? Jump ahead. Okay. So what happened then? Let's just do this so that and we'll just do this. We will be right back.
All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Radio for the rare breed.
It's interesting that we had Doug pop up right there because, my good friend Doug Harmon, he's out and about on a motorcycle now. I got a video yesterday. He's touring all the way to Austin on a motorcycle and very graciously agreed. We'll talk about it before we get out of here, but very graciously agreed. Oh, my good Lord. Thank you so much for the people that donated to the GoFundMe page yesterday. That I should have led with right off the bat. I apologize. Thank you so very much. It's truly, it's just been great. So thank you also very much for thinking of me, thinking of my family, and as we get ready to go through this. So thank you very much again. And also I'll mention quickly that, and then I'll get to our story of the phone call yesterday from the good folks at Columbus Cranium Shack. On the 30th, if I'm still here, IPM Nation's International Block Party for the Brian Brain Trust, Saturday, March 30th, 6 a.m. to midnight. It's going to be live audio, video. You can call in, you can hang out, and all the proceeds are going to go over to the Brian Brain Trust. So thank you all so very much for maybe, thinking of putting in a call, just placing a call. It's toll free. You can give us a call. All the hosts from different IPM shows are going to be calling in, and we'll be having a good time. So if you can put that on your calendar, that would be very nice. Again, the IPM Nation International Block Party for the Brian Brain Trust, Saturday, March 30th, like a week from tomorrow. Or no, maybe the next day, a week from the next day. And that would be great if you can stop by, hang out, say hello. We've done the 24-hour one, but that was with my snorkel, my cranial snorkel built in. But now, minus the shunt, who knows? So, but we're going to go for 18 hours. And again, all that will go, all the proceeds go to the Brian Brain Trust. So thank you very much for that. And thank you for everyone that's contributed. 270 some odd shares on Facebook alone. It's very humbling. Thank you so very much for that. I super appreciate it. All right, so let's get to the meat of today, if you will. So yesterday the phone rings and it's the doctor And they go, hey, Bri, how are you? And I go, well, I'm leaking. I put up on the post this morning, I couldn't help it, but like that little waterfall, so that my leak has gone from a waterfall, little trickle in a creek to like a massive waterfall outside of Yellowstone. So if you've seen those two pieces, you know how I feel, right? When I get this massive gourd in the back of my head, security stops me at a store and say, sir, you're trying to steal that cantaloupe? The day's young. You don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Right? Because there's security guards. It's not like there's a whole lot more going on. So I just say, they're basically right around. I don't want to say because that'll just get in trouble if I get stopped. Then a patrolman will go, oh, you remember that joke you made about patrolmen? So I don't want to do that. All right. So in any event, the phone call and the doctor goes, how you feeling? And I go, great now. It's always nice to talk to you. What's the scoop? And there's dead silence on the phone. Dead, complete silence. Nothing. And I'm thinking, well, they usually call from a landline. How did I lose the signal? So I sit up quickly. And they go, Bri? And I go, yeah, I'm here. Kudos to you. Yeah, you get it right. My name's Brian. Very good. Next. Why don't you pick famous German poets for $2.50? So she goes, Brian, yes, I'm here. Operators are standing by. Who knows what Brian you got, right? But you got one of them ricocheting around in my head. One of them picked up the phone. And they go, oh, well, we just wanted to call and schedule your next appointment. And I said, okay, thank you. And she goes, this was the word. She goes, yeah, the images, all the tests, we found the hole. I'm like, okay. So long story short, especially now since I've rambled on for 25 minutes, basically what it means is that for over 2 years ago, when I said we shouldn't do the shunt, we shouldn't have done the shunt. The shunt just, and all the brainiacs now can say, well, the shunt made it this, the shunt made it that. Look, I've had PTSD for 2 years. It damn near killed me. The headaches, the whole laundry list of stuff. Wow. Woe was me, right? Whole laundry list of stuff. If you had just gone in, so now what's the plan? Well, the plan is to go back into the original wound site, right, where I'm busy smuggling out the cantaloupe, sometimes kiwis, but the cantaloupe, right, in the back of my head. We're going to go back in, remove whatever the faulty dura is, and we're going to replace it with some Bondo, some Flex Seal, what I've called for all along. So that's the next thing on tap will be to figure out what it's going to take. But here's the bottom line. I went against my gut. So when you say, well, Bri, you've had 2 years of Parkinsonism, tremors, for those of you that are more comfortable with that term. I've never really figured that out. They're my shakes. What do you care what I call them? Tremors, Parkinsonism, shakes. I can't hold a glass of water without clinking against my teeth. Whatever they decide to call it. All the nausea, all the this, all the that, blah, blah, blah. I'll just save you the laundry list of sordid details. But it's funny that I used laundry list when I was talking about some of the side effects. Interesting. But in any event, so what you could say is I brought it all on myself because I didn't listen to my own gut. I didn't listen to my still small voice. I turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. To my own still small voice when it told me don't go through with the shunt. Don't. Too late. They already cut into you. That's the sound of a Dremel tool. We know that. So my thought today to leave you with is that do you trust your gut? Do you trust that intuition? Do you trust your still small voice? Because the pain that I've been paying over the last 2 years, the bed rest, the days and days of excruciating headaches, the no taste buds, the burning eyes, the ringing in my ears, all of it, you could very well offer a case and say, well, you know what, Needle Nitz, you got what you got coming because you turned your back on yourself. And I'm here to say, don't do that. Right? Enough of that already. If you're in a situation where you feel like you've turned your back on yourself, knock it off, right? Your gut knows, your intuition knows. And you'll have all these brainiac TED talkers going, well, we don't know so if you can trust your gut so much. Right? It was you turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to your critics. Crush your can and your critics while you're at it. So that'll be the thing. I hope to be back tomorrow. Thank you all so very much. And please remember this. It's your intuition. It's your gut. It's your still small voice. It's your whisper. Ignore it. Right? Ignore it at your own risk because I am a walking, talking example of over 2 years of torture and pain because I ignored. I'm guilty. I'm your boy. If I'm still allowed to say boy, I'm your boy. I turned a blind eye and a deaf ear to my own gut and it said, look, You're in it on your own now. All right. Have an absolutely fantastic day. And please don't turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to your own gut. Learn from your friend Brian and go, oh, I don't want, no. Time to listen to my intuition. Time to put my heart's highest priority top of the list. All right. So speaking of heart's highest priority top of the list, have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow morning. The divine willing. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. And again, thank you for everyone heading to GoFundMe. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, how much my family appreciates it, and thanks to Sue and everyone else involved. Thank you all so very much. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.